Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Om Shubhal Brahma Brillacharya Stotra Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Seva the whole world Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Nirandara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. प्रेम से गो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesho Vadvesho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagvatam, first canto, chapter 3, text number 35. 35. Evam janmani karmani Evam janmani karmani Hi akartur ajnasya cha Hi akartur ajanasya cha Hi akartur ajanasya cha Varnayanti sma kavayo Varnayanti sma kavayo Veda guhyani hritpatihi Veda guhyani hritpatihi.
Evam janmani karmani Hiyakartur ajanasya cha Varnayanti sma kavayo Veda guhyani hritpate. Evam janmani karmani Hiyakartur ajanasya cha Varnayanti sma kavayo Veda guhyani hritpate. Evam janmani karmani Hiyakartur ajanasya cha Varnayanti sma kavayo Veda guhyani hritpate.
Evam, thus, Janmani, birth, Karmani, activities. He certainly, Akartuhu, of the inactive, Ajanasya, of the unborn, Cha, and Varnayanti, describe, Sma, in the past, Kavayaha, the learned, Vedavuhyani, the undiscoverable by the Vedas, Hritpati, of the Lord of the heart. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus, learned men describe the births and activities of the unborn and inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart. Purport. Both the Lord and the living entities are essentially all spiritual. Therefore, both of them are eternal and neither of them has birth and death. The difference is that the so-called births and disappearance of the Lord are unlike those of the living beings. The living beings who take birth and then again accept death are bound by the laws of material nature. But the so-called appearance and disappearance of the Lord are not actions of material nature, but are demonstrations of his internal potency of the Lord. They are described by the great sages for the purpose of self-realization. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita by the Lord that his so-called birth in the material world and its activities are all transcendental. And simply by meditation on such activities, one can attain realization of Brahman and thus become liberated from the material bondage. In the Shrutis, it is said that the birthless appear to take birth. The Supreme has nothing to do but because he is omnipotent, everything is performed by him naturally, as if done automatically. As a matter of fact, the appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his different activities are all confidential, even to the Vedic literatures. Yet they are displayed by the Lord to bestow mercy upon the conditioned souls. We should always take advantage of the narrations of the activities of the Lord, which are meditations on Brahman in the most convenient and palatable form. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat the translation. Thus learned men describe the births and activities of the unborn and the inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart. So, this chapter is titled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Basically, this chapter talks about different incarnations of the Lord and how these incarnation means appearing to our senses. We also reincarnate. We incarnate from one body to another gross body. It is also reincarnation. We are not the body. You see, the previous two verses are saying, whenever a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, At that time, he sees himself as well as the Lord. The illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord. Then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory. It is just like if you're watching a movie, when you're in a movie, you're completely absorbed in that movie world. And when you come out of the movie, you realize that I have nothing to do with the movie. My world is different. My relationship is different. So in the same way, the self-realized person, when a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord. So the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in quality, they are the same. They are personalities, persons. They're all spiritual. But when we take birth in this material world, we come under the control of the body. And this material energy is meant to give us a free play for our free will to enjoy or suffer in forgetfulness of Krishna as per the laws of karma. So that is the purpose of this body we have taken. So in a way, each of our body and each of our life, we take birth and then it is not millions of lives we have had like this. And in each life we identify with the body and we think this is my life. But our real my life is my relationship with Krishna is in the spiritual world. So I forget my spiritual body and adopt immediately, as soon as I forget Krishna, immediately the material energy, because all the energies are serving Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is described in the Shastra that Krishna only expands for his enjoyment as everything. Krishna only expands as Vishnu Tattvas. Krishna only expands as us also, as Jiva Tattva. He is eternally expanding. We are his part and parcel. We are his amshas. So that way he is the source of all of us. He is like the Supreme Father. So what is all this material arrangement, taking birth, death, life in this material world, life, karma, all these things these are all Krishna's unlimited expansions and his way of, his scheme of things. Anandamayobhyasat. It is all meant for his pleasure. When you say his pleasure, he is unlimited. He includes us also. That is why we are also after pleasure. We are also after love. We are after power. We are after knowledge. Why? Because Krishna is the embodiment of all power. Krishna is the embodiment of infinite knowledge. He is the embodiment of infinite love, infinite pleasure. That is Krishna. So here it is described that, of course, we have forgotten Krishna and we are trapped in these different material bodies. Srila Prabhupada says this material body is an embarrassment. Once you understand your spiritual, once you understand your quality to be that of God, you find this material body as an embarrassment. It's a machine which is meant to duplicate your spiritual body, your Satchidananda body. That is why nobody likes to think of his body as internal organs. The fact is, it's a fact. All our bodies are machines. You go to the hospital, you'll know. Or you go to the operation theater, you'll know. But nobody likes to remember. Nobody likes to remember millions of blood vessels are running this way, that way, and everything is nicely covered with the skin. This whole body looks like body in the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world, there is no phenomenal body like this. Satchidananda Vigraha. So in the material world is so nicely designed by Krishna to give us an impression that I am having a spiritual body. I don't die. That's why nobody likes to die. That's why nobody likes to grow old. But the machine grows old. So what is our deep inclination is to have a spiritual body. In the spiritual world, everything is serving Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. Krishna is having unlimited relationship with his unlimited part and parcels. Ultimately, what are we living in this world also? For rasa, is it not? That is why you divorce one and then you go for another one. Why? Rasa you want. इधर नहीं मिला उधर जाएगा. We are all living for rasa. Different types of rasa. Power rasa, love rasa, pleasure rasa, knowledge rasa. We are all living for that. But all these things are available in perfection when we link ourselves with our Purna, our complete whole, our Supreme Father, Krishna. Each of us have a relationship with Krishna. When we forget Krishna, because we are part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna is supremely independent. We are also tiny independence. Krishna respects his. Krishna becomes unlimited living entities. We are one Shakti of Krishna. We are called marginal Shakti of Krishna. Tatastha Shakti. Antaranga Shakti. These are all display of Krishna's Shakti, which is serving his purpose, his plans, his pleasure. So among them, we are tiny living entities. We as tiny living entities, constitutionally, we are the same nature as God. You cannot say why God gave me free will to come into this material world. God did not give you free will just to come into this material world. God gave you free will to enjoy in the spiritual world. Love means free will. Total freedom in the spiritual world. But center is Krishna. You don't think Krishna is separate from me. Just like the finger here does not think this, I am separate from the body. Similarly, the spiritual world is one world with unlimited living entities. They are serving Krishna's pleasure. Bhakti, devotional service, loving devotional service. In the material world, everybody is trying for power. Opposite in the spiritual world. Everybody in the living entity is trying to surrender. Surrender. Not only I don't want power, I want myself also to be yours. In the material world, everybody wants all power and they want everybody to serve them. Opposite. So unless we give up that rasa of controlling, give up that rasa of being the boss, give up that rasa of being in charge of your own life, unless we give that up in the depth of our heart, we cannot start bhakti. Bhakti starts with sarvadharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshayasya ma suchaha. Bhakti begins with surrender. So why have we got this material body? Because in your spiritual body, you cannot do this there. It is internal energy. Internal energy means love, pure love of Krishna. Self-centeredness, moment self-centeredness comes, then immediately the only way to fulfill your desires all our desires of the conditioned soul is to give a material body, and in the material body, you play the boss. Whether in the material world, man, a woman, everyone is originally, everyone, all the souls are Prakriti. They are all servants of Krishna. They are all subordinate and servants of Krishna. In the material world here, we want, whether man or woman, is bhavana, is that of controlling. Is that of being the boss. That of wanting everybody to serve me. So we take material bodies and then we, according to our karma, we enjoy. The Vedas are prescriptions. Just like if you buy a television, you'll get a television manual. The same way, the Vedas are prescriptions of God, intelligent way of living so that all your enjoyment you can independent of God. You can live in this world. What are the rules of the games of karma? That is what the Vedas are. But still, why Vedas are respected? Because you can ignore the Vedas also and play the game of this material life foolishly, sinfully. You operate the television as per the manual, television will serve you nicely. You live your life according to Vedas, it will serve your life nicely. But not mukti, not Krishna, it doesn't give you Krishna. Sarvescha Vedescha Sarvair Aham Eva Vedya Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. That is the first thing. Beginning of Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says. Krishna says, I am to be known by the Vedas. I am the author of the Vedas. I am the source of the Vedas. So though we say Vedic literature, we are dealing with the essence of Vedic literature. The essence of Vedic literature is Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So there is so much Vedic literature, Karma Kanda and all those things. People follow all those things. But that is trying to make best use of the television and enjoy life. Just like so many asuras. They follow the Karma Kanda principles. They do tapasya to get Hiranyakashipu, gets Brahma before him, ask him boon, immortal boon, all material desires. So the living entities are all stuck in this material world. It is so rare to become Krishna conscious that the Bhagavatam verse says, the learned men describe the birth and activities of the unborn and inactive, which are undiscoverable even in the Vedic literature. Krishna is hidden in the Vedic literature also. Krishna is not revealed. Because you have to go beyond the Vedas and you have to ask the question, what is that? What is the purpose of life? What is this enjoyment and suffering and enjoyment and suffering? Where is permanent love? Where is permanent pleasure? Where is permanent knowledge? Where is it? Where is permanent existence? Who is my permanent relative? Add enough of it, birth, death, enough of drama from one birth to another birth. Each of our life is one drama from birth to death. Then next another drama, next another drama. In each drama, I am identifying, I am thinking this is my life. Kala, time, kills everybody. So the soul itself is spiritual. Same quality like Krishna. Being same quality like Krishna, our original position is be in the spiritual world, not in the material world. To be in the spiritual world, we have to reconnect ourselves as one with Krishna. I am not a separated individual from Krishna. I am a connected individual with Krishna. I means who? My soul. We are not talking about my ahankara. My soul is a real ego in this body. Real ego is engaging in false role play. You give up the false role play and turn towards Krishna as being dependent upon Him, surrender unto Him, become His. To do this, to remind us to do this, to give us an opportunity, Krishna incarnates. Krishna incarnates in our society just like one of us. Like Krishna appeared 5,000 years back, like one of us. Now here Bhagavatam is saying, don't think he is one of us, though he incarnates. Though he was seen 5,000 years ago with your eyes, though he was born, though he disappeared in Dwaraka, don't think that he appeared and disappeared as you appear and disappear due to the stringent laws of karma. The Lord appears out of His own sweet will to give pleasure to His devotees. Lord comes down from the spiritual world with His associates. It is said that when Krishna was dancing with gopis in the Rasa dance, some of them were His eternal associates from the spiritual world. But many of the new gopis, they are new recruits, living entities who have purified by chanting bhakti, surrendered. So Krishna does his leela, comes here like a magnet you put. There are so many iron filings in the midst of sand. I'll shake up the whole thing and hold the magnet on top. What happens? All the iron filings come up. So in the same way, Krishna's purpose of incarnation is to take the jivas by attracting them by his wonderful activities. Therefore, it is very important that you have to hear Krishna's leelas. Krishna Katha, you have to hear. We get attracted when you hear about his excellent activities. When we hear about his birth, how he was not born like me and you. He out of his own sweet will became the child of a chosen father and mother. He appeared as four-handed form before Vasudeva and Devaki, then turned into a child, a baby. So is it ordinary birth? He decided whose child he will be. Can we decide whose child will be? No. Bondage, karma. According to karma, we will be born in that family. So when you hear these pastimes, you know, oh my God, this is not ordinary birth. The God engaging in his leela of being the son of his devotees. That is why he was born. To give rasa to his devotees. At the same time to show his super excellent, that he is beyond material energy. how he lifted Govardhan, how a baby can kill, a 3 months old baby can kill Putana, how big asuras are killed. So some nonsense people who give Indian literature give some interpretation that Krishna, all this, Krishna also is human and he became God. So what you have to learn from Bhagavad Gita? You have to become like Krishna. End of the day they are saying you can also become Krishna. All of us have to elevate ourselves so much that we become God. That was nonsense. Krishna was God right from birth, not that he became God. They cannot answer that. So Krishna comes down into this material world. He can create any movie. Just like we are able to create movies. Krishna can create any effect. Not that he has to take a material body and then materially he has to. Krishna comes as he is in his spiritual body and his spiritual body displays all these leelas and displays all these effects to our eyes. But he is not material. His body is not material. So Krishna comes as he is in his spiritual body. Different kinds of incarnations are there. Like the incarnation. The Shaktis can come into something. That is another kind of incarnation. Krishna comes as he is, that is 5,000 years back he came. That is, he did not take a material body at all. His original spiritual body appeared to do all these things. His original spiritual body appeared to be killed by a hunter. Appeared to be. And for those atheists, so that they believe, so that they don't discover his truth, Krishna even creates a body out of matter so that everybody thinks, oh, hunter killed him. Krishna never had a matter body, never left a matter body, never took a material body. He was always in his original body. This is Bhagavad Tattva. We take a material body. Krishna is all spiritual. This is a separated energy. Now another kind of incarnation is there. That incarnation is Krishna also comes into the material energy. Take for example, the holy name. The holy name, the Shaktis enter the sound that we chant. The sound that we chant is a sound produced by my tongue, which means it is a material sound originally when I start. Or Archa Avatara. Archa Avatara incarnation is different, Krishna's original incarnation is different. In Archa Avatara, Krishna enters the material elements. And even then, whenever Krishna takes any material energy in the form of sound or in the form of Archa Vigraha, We have to understand that Krishna is omnipotent. He becomes that body. Because all the energy are belonging to him. Krishna has no limitation of time, space, and substance. He can become this table. He can come before, beyond any space and time, no limitation. Time, no limitation. All of us are limited by time, space, and substance. I am stuck in this substance. I can be only in this body now. Krishna is not limited in anything because he is everything. He is the source of everything. Everything is coming from him. So therefore, even if he momentarily decides to enter the sound that you chant, it becomes his body. Satchidananda. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says, reveals that in all circumstances, there is no difference between Krishna's soul and Krishna's body. Because he is omnipotent. Whether it is a Shakti Avesha incarnation or his original incarnation, original to doubt hi nahi hai. There is no difference between his soul and his body. Even when he takes incarnation in this material world. As soon as he enters the sound that you utter, that sound is no longer ordinary. That sound is completely spiritual. So there is nothing material. Once Krishna decides to become something, there is nothing material. Once Radha and Krishna, the spiritual world, decides to become Radha Gopinath, there is nothing material there. Only to our eyes it appears there is marble. But there is nothing material there. Everything is spiritual. So Archa Vigraha, Avatara is Krishna himself. Janma karma chame divyam yevam yo vetitattvaha tektva deham punarjanma neiti mameti so Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita Krishna reveals Janma, karma, my activities, my birth, chame divyam, they are transcendental. They are not like yours. I come to be with you, I come to give you an opportunity to revive your original love for me, which is now covered. My true authentic self is I am an eternal servant of Krishna with an eternal spiritual body. Otherwise, in this material world, nobody is anybody's. Millions of souls are there. Some of them join together, they say it's my family, my members and all those things. But cannot. They're all like bubbles of like a foam. So many bubbles come together and on a river, on the river you will see froth. So many bubbles are together. Just as the river moves, all bubbles separate. In the same way, nobody is anybody's in this world. Can anybody claim any soul permanently mine? Cannot. Nobody can. This is a reality. This is the truth. But at the same time, we all have a tendency, no, I want to be related. I want to be somebody. I want to be somebody's. I want to belong to somebody. whether as a father or as a mother or as a children or as a husband or wife. Love is the nature of the living entity. Love means want to belong to somebody. So that permanent sense of belonging, where do we get? We get only what I have forgotten. I had to awaken myself. Krishna, Krishna's devotees. This is a spiritual world, the spiritual family, Guru and Krishna. That awakening has to happen. It is not put from outside, it awakens. To awaken that, the Lord has incarnated as, Lord is very merciful. We forget Krishna, we forget love of Krishna. Krishna never forgets love of jivas. We want to go and experience love of God, right? But Krishna, there is no mistake in Krishna. Even though we have all come to the material world, left Krishna and come, He is not forgotten us. That is why Krishna is in our heart as Paramatma. Just see, it's very important to understand. We have forgotten Krishna, but Krishna has not forgotten us. So awakening Krishna consciousness means to awaken our love for Krishna. And for that in Kali Yuga, very mercifully, to remove the covering over the soul, which creates the forgetfulness, Lord has incarnated as a holy name. Kalikale Namarupa Krishna Avatara. Krishna is incarnated as the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 500 years back, Krishna himself appeared 500 years back, and it is described that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya, is Radha and Krishna's combined in one body. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is a sound where Radha and Krishna are combined in one body. Radha's name and Krishna's name. So they decided in Kali Yuga. That's how we should think Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Any devotee who chants my name, chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Radharani enters the sound Hare, Krishna enters the sound that you utter. Then in the spiritual world, they decided that anybody who says Krishna, I will enter that sound, I will become that sound. So that when they hear that sound, they touch me and they become pure. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra consists of 3 seed names, Hare, Krishna and Rama. The all attractive potency of Krishna and all pleasure potency. Rama means all pleasure. So the all pleasure aspect of Krishna decides to enter the word Rama that you utter. The all attractive aspect of Krishna, it decides to enter the Krishna. Radharani decides to enter Hare. Jointly they decided, let us go into this material world as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is Kalikale Namarupa Avatara. Radharani and Krishna himself, very mercifully, in the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore it is said that in Kali Yuga you worship, by chanting Hare Krishna, you worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the combined form of Radha and Krishna. So therefore this sound is an incarnation. Shakti Aveshanama. All the Shaktis of, when Krishna comes, does he come alone? When the President of America goes somewhere, does he go alone? No, his whole immediate, what is it called? Force one. US Force One or something. So whole battalion goes with him. All the same way, whenever Krishna incarnates, all is Satta, Chitta, and Ananda Shakti. So it's not simply, he's a Surya of Satchidananda. When Surya comes, he comes with all his Surya Kirana, rays. In the same way, the Nama, when he incarnates, all the Satta, Chitta, and Ananda Shakti of Krishna is also coming, entering that sound. And he's expecting that. Why is he coming down? To give mercy. What is he expecting? He is expecting that you touch and purify and go back to him. Awaken your forgotten relationship with him. That is the purpose of this incarnation. So therefore, when we chant and hear, he is very pleased. Everything is there in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everything that you want is there in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So current incarnation for us to associate with is this holy name. As I said, the moment Krishna enters, there is nothing, there is no more material vibration there. Everything is spiritual, all spiritual. Because ultimately we are hearing the sound that we produced. But still it purifies us. How is it that? Because that sound is no longer the kind of sound you produced. It has transformed into Krishna. Krishna himself has become that. So kind Krishna is. So what you are hearing, what you are drinking is the ocean of Satchidananda. It goes inside your heart and creates a revolution. All this material identification, all these things all will vanish. When the transcendental light, Divya Jnana, the Chitta Shakti from the Nama enters our heart, because of our deep conditioning, we are not able to experience. As I said yesterday, because our wood is wet, that is why we are not experiencing. But the fire is acting. Just like if I have put a rubber gloves and keep it on a heater, hot plate, will I feel the heat? No, because it's an insulator, rubber. But if I continue to keep, what will happen? Rubber will melt. Then you will start feeling the heat. So this rubber gloves is what is covering our heart, anarthas. These anarthas, one by one we cannot, okay, let me try to control my anger, let me try to control my lust. Yes, ab hoga hi nahi. Because so many lifetimes of, it is so deep, so much contamination. One, if you pick up and I want to throw it. One bad habit I want to pick up and throw it. No, it will never work. This is a wholesale destruction. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is like an atom bomb. Send it inside your heart, brum, it bursts. In few years, you become devotee. Your whole consciousness changes. How it has happened? Not easy to change consciousness. In a few days, in few months, we change. How we change? We give up tea, coffee, non-veg, everything. Whole life you are taking, everything you give up. How it happens? Higher taste comes simply by hearing this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that's all we have to do. We'll become, our heart will become pure. Just question of time. Just question of time. Don't lift the hand from the hot plate. Hold it. Hot, 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 hot. Rubber will melt, melt. You start feeling the heat. Once you start feeling the ananda of heat, you will never again wear a rubber gloves. You will never want this material taste of this material world. So, the Supreme has nothing to do, but because He is omnipotent, everything is performed by Him naturally as if done automatically. So, all these things, simply the Krishna Nama, Shuddha Nama, shines His Satchidananda rays into our heart. And Satchidananda, they are His energies. Their energies will take care. This chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna incarnating is just like first the Satchidananda energies, they bathe our soul and clean our soul. Now our soul is covered with dirt. What is dirt? What kind of dirt? Asat, Achit, ignorance, false existence. First is Asat. I am thinking I am the body. This body is my existence. My existence is this body. What a big lie it is. Even though it's very clear to us that it had a beginning and an end. I am this body. That Asat is cleansed. Achit, ignorance. Who I am. Forgotten that I am Krishna's. And we have Achit means what? So many role plays. I am businessman, I am this, I am that, I am that. As long as you think you are playing a role, it is fine. But if you think I am that, then that is illusion. No problem in being this body and serving Krishna, knowing very well I am not the body, body is a machine. I am in this body. I will use this body for Krishna. But being in the body, thinking I am the body, that is a problem. That is ignorance. So our soul is covered by Asat, Achit and Jadananda. False, thinking that false pleasures are real pleasures. Love of this world is real love, we think. Love of this world is only all a sample love. Real love is in the spiritual world. Love of this world is cinema love. Do you take it seriously, love in the cinema? No. As far as we Vaishnavas are concerned, in this world also, we have to tell this. Love of this world is cinema love. Immediately it strikes you, oh, utna hi hai kya? Love milega to milega, nahi to nahi milega. You become detached. Huh? Everything in the material world. And this cinema is not outside. This cinema is in our head. This is the real energy of the Lord. In cinema, everything is cinema. The story is cinema. Story is a movie. But only truth is screen and light. But you don't see the light patches. On the light patches, you create images, personalities. Actors you create that in your head. Exactly in the same way in this material world, bodies are real, soul is real, this world is real. But out of the real world, I create story in my head. I am this body, they are their body, everybody is their body. When you chant Hare Krishna, when you become purified, then you see body as body, soul as soul. Spirit and matter is separate. The most important thing that is being communicated here, 2-3 things. One is, Krishna is so difficult to be realized or found out or understood. Ishvara Parama Krishna. To find out, to realize that if you simply stick to the Vedic literature, you may not. A pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, Krishna sends into this material world. and reveals this secret to his devotees who are ready to go back to Godhead. Many lives we have had, been in this material world. Somehow by the blessings of, so never leave this opportunity. By the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you got association of Prabhupada, got an opportunity to understand Krishna, become a devotee of Krishna. We are all now devotees of Krishna, not to transact anything in the material world. We have become devotees of Krishna to go back to Krishna. So many karmis, they are also devotees of Krishna. They pray to Krishna and everything, but they don't want to go back. They are kama bhaktas, desire with material desires. They have not been fortunate to come across pure bhakta. When you come across him, then you learn. Yes, all these things, what is the use of praying? As my karma, it will come and go. It is all left in Krishna's hands, material, sukha and dukkha. I simply want to go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Another statement here Prabhupada says, as a matter of fact, appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his different activities are confidential, even to Vedic literature. They are very confidential. That this Krishna Nama is Krishna is a very confidential knowledge. To everybody else, it is an ordinary sound. That is why one of the 10 offenses is you should not consider it to be one of the ritualistic mantras. In Karma Kanda, there are so many mantras for rituals. This is not a mantra like that. This is Krishna Nama, Krishna himself. And chanting of it also should not be thought of as meant for some, like Vedic literatures give us so many mantras to get so many things. This mantra is not for getting any of those things. This mantra is not chanted to get punya. It is chanted to get bhakti. But since it is a fact, the scriptures also reveal, our Goswamis also reveal, automatically this mantra is also highest punya. So very soon anybody who chants Hare Krishna, he'll exhaust all his accumulated karma. Sometimes it appears that devotees are suffering, who are chanting Hare Krishna are suffering. But they are only sample suffering, because they have to go back to God and everything is cleaned. Everything is accelerated, some sample things are coming. It will only increase one's attachment to Krishna. Even if a devotee, Krishna allows that suffering to continue, but Krishna allows only a sample to continue. If you had not become devotee of Krishna to suffer all that karma, you would have to take millions of lives. All that, now you become a devotee, now before you die, everything sample, tak, and back to God, and by the time you die, karma free, Hare Krishna, go back to Krishna. Any questions? Yes.
Why does Krishna have to conceal his identity from us? Because people are not aware of Krishna's identity in terms of the entire society.
I think switch is off. Yeah, tell. Anyway, we heard.
It seems that the entire society is contaminated with this equality of the three of Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. So everything seems like everything is equal, but even for everyone of us, after we came into Krishna consciousness, only we understood what position is Krishna.
Right.
This Dhamma is again concealed. Everything about Krishna is concealed. And also maybe in other Mahayugas, Krishna is not necessarily available. So it feels like Krishna is very rare, and even when he's there, it is very confidential.
Yeah. Not simply he is being rare. He is being rare to the jivas in this material world. This material world is only 1/4. His world is there in the spiritual world. It is unlimited spiritual world, unlimited devotees. But in the material world is kingdom of Maya. It is an area for living entities who do not want Krishna to be here. So why should Krishna go and push himself here? Lovingly you want to come back to me, I have sent my representatives. So therefore, it is not, it is the living entity's desire to getting fed up with this material world. When the living entity is fed up, my nature is not to die. Why am I dying? My nature is to be happy. Why I am not happy? My nature is to have pure love, to give love, pure love, receive pure love. My nature, I'm hankering, my heart is hankering for it. My heart is hankering for pure knowledge. I don't want ignorance. I don't want to be cheated. I want to see real gold as gold. I don't want to see gilded gold as gold and pay the money for it. I don't want to be cheated. What is this false pleasure? Where is real pleasure? What is this false love? Where is real love? I want. So when the living entity, the material energy is designed for that. Nicely it squeezes a jiva. And then jiva will ask question. And then understand, there must be somewhere there is pure love. Where is that? I want that. That time, Bhagavad Gita as it is will reach you through devotees. Now Krishna is in the heart. Our scriptures say that Krishna brings you to Guru and then Guru teaches you how to become closer to Krishna. So it is Krishna in your heart who has brought you here because he knows your history. Life after life history, everything he knows. He knows now you have got fed up. You have certain higher inquiries after Atato Brahma Jinyasa. You are seeking love, pleasure, happiness, knowledge. Beyond this, what you are seeing everywhere, you want that. Your inner hunger has awakened. You don't want to settle for this life. You don't want to settle for this material love. You don't want to settle. Each one of us, we have become devotees because somewhere we don't want to settle. We are looking for perfection. We are looking for perfect rasa. And therefore, Krishna in our heart, okay, if you are fed up, then he brings you to Prabhupada. Even after bringing you to Prabhupada, he does not, no jabardasti, no force. You want to fall back, you fall back. You want to leave him, you leave him. You have to choose to stick to him. You have to choose, I want Krishna. You have to choose. Till the last you have to choose. Till you climb the airplane. Like that Dhruva Maharaj Lila. The airplane from spiritual world, Vaikuntha, arrived to take him back to Godhead. Krishna does not want to force anybody to be in the spiritual world or go back to the spiritual world unless you really want him, want to love him. Love is voluntary, no force. Okay? Any other question? Yes.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that this life is drama, all other lives are also drama, and you also give references to cinema, like relationships are just, like that. or our external identity, like a businessman. External identity is like software engineer or businessman. These are all temporary
designations.
Yeah. But at the same time, we are all here, and I understand that Krishna conscious activities are like spiritual activities, like we're chanting or we keep with that. So then, Prabhuji, how does that, how do we reconcile that Krishna cancelled some portion of the drama script to incorporate this, or he made room within that drama script?
He made room within the drama. Within the drama, you are chanting Hare Krishna. So what you are doing is real. Whatever you are doing, Krishna conscious activity is having real significance. Suppose I'll give you an example. You are watching a movie. You have forgotten who you are in the real world. You are identified with the hero or a heroine. You are lost in the story. Suddenly your son comes in the movie. What will it will remind you of? Your home. It will awaken you. Suppose the whole movie turns into a movie of your house. Movie is finished. In the same way, in this material world, Krishna incarnates in the movie screen. That means he is appearing in our mind, in the incarnates. When he incarnates, but our forgetfulness is very deep. So Krishna himself removes the ignorance, and one day when you are chanting, this is Krishna, nothing material. This Krishna himself has appeared in this drama. So the incarnation of Krishna means he is appearing in our drama. So we have to fill our drama with Krishna. Deity, holy name, seva. So you don't have to think this world is a drama. For us it's not a drama because Krishna has come and my life is Krishna, my rasa is Krishna, I am living for Krishna, I am working for Krishna, I am trying to please Krishna. Our transition becomes, that's why we come out of Maya. Even though we are in this body, we are in this material world, we come out of Maya. Or let us say even you don't see your son's picture, your son's name come there. Immediately you look, oh my God, ये तो कहानी है. मैं real life छोड़ दिया, अभी सिनेमा के बाद भी जाना है वापस. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाए, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाए.